This week in movie news, we have the best villains of 2015, Batman in 70mm, and the biggest movie of all time. Hey everybody, and welcome to Newsday Tuesday, the show where we talk about all of the movie news, the box office, and most importantly, answer your questions and bring it to you a week late. But nonetheless, as I've been doing recently with all of these shows, is starting off with a movie list that pretty much picks up the top 10 of something or top 5 of something. And since we're close to the end of the year and we all got Star Wars, I was able to see The Hateful Eight and The Revenant. I want to talk about a group of characters, a list of characters that are so bad, they're good. I'm talking about the best movie villains of 2015. Those villains that are so bad, they get under your skin, but they're still intriguing enough that sometimes you even like them more than the heroes that are in the movie. So of course, I'm curious to hear your favorite villains of 2015 down below in the comment section as I get into my top 5. Starting off with one from the Stanford Prison Experiment with the guard played by Michael Angarano. And this is a dude who was in Sky High. That's not his character here. Now, some may say, since it's the story of Dr. Zimbardo, who's played by Billy Crudup, that he may actually be the villain because he puts these students to become prisoners and guards and does not stop the experiment when he should. But really, it is this guard in particular who takes advantage of it, goes way overboard. But the scariest part is, as menacing as he is, he kind of convinces you that, hey, I was just put into this position. I was innocent. If you were in this position as well and you had this power, you might as well have taken advantage of it also. And that is the scariest part of this villain. At number 4, we have one of the Hateful Eight with the character of Daisy Domergue, who is played by Jennifer Jason Leigh. Now, I don't want to spoil the movie, but you do know that she is a character who has a $10,000 bounty on her head. And when it says dead or alive, I would have gone with dead because this woman does not stop talking smack. She is in a cabin with a blizzard outside, locked inside with people who do not like her. And she still does not stop. She is one of the most outrageous and funniest villains of 2015. At number 3, though, we have what I would consider the most despicable villain of 2015, and that is from Beasts of No Nation, and that is the Commandment, played by Idris Elba. A dude who is so suave, he convinces you that, yeah, he's good. Look, he's saving these children from not dying. They're able to survive, but no. What he ends up doing to these children, some who end up becoming mute, one who ends up with a final moment in the movie, which is one of the most heartbreaking scenes of 2015, makes you go, no, this dude is despicable. What's worse is that you actually fall for his charm, but no, this guy is disgusting. At number 2, we have one of the most interesting villains of 2015, and that is the creature or It from It Follows. A script that to this day I still stand contradicts itself a lot with the mythology, but the direction, the tone, and the music to embody and build up this creature, this villain, phenomenal. If you don't know, this creature pretty much comes when a person has intercourse with somebody else who has this disease or demon or whatever you want to call it, and it passes on to the other person. Now you are cursed with it following you, but not knowing what it is because it transforms itself into other things. So you never know if it's just a regular person on the street or if you're being followed by someone, and it just walks, but the moment it touches you, you are done. And it is just a crazy villain and one of the best of 2015. Of course, the year was chock full of many other bad guys and girls, so we can't fit them all in one list, but here are my honorable mentions that I would like to mention. In Mad Max, we had Immortan Joe, who, as much as we don't know everything else about his backstory, we do know that he was in charge of all of these people, and you can just use your imagination to know what he did with all of those women. We had the Indominus Rex from Jurassic World, who continued to show us and remind us, yeah, dinosaurs, they are BA, especially when they are advanced and as clever as this one. Kingsman gave us Richmond Valentine, who had a lisp, but do not take that into account, especially when he has one of the most BA assistants in Gazelle. Lucille Sharp from Crimson Peak may be the craziest one out of all of them, but then we had Tom Hardy from The Revenant, who just embodies what revenge is and just wanting to do everything for yourself. However, we now come down to the worst villain, the best villain of 2015. And that would be the people behind Alvin and the Chipmunks, all the producers and film execs, the studio execs who allow these things to continue to happen because these are movies that don't need to be made, especially when there are films out there that have better characters and have better villains like Kylo Ren, who really is the best villain of 2015, just joshing around. But look, Kylo Ren is the best because I don't even have a bias for Star Wars. It's not my favorite franchise that's out there. It just isn't. So I can honestly say that Kylo Ren has some of the best build-up and has some of the best character development that I have seen in 2015, with a character that is dealing with the light and the darkness, has a history to him already, and is just going to have to deal with more obstacles in his future. He has the most iconic mask, voice, lines, costume, scenes of 2015, and is the best villain of the year. However, those are my picks. I'm curious your thoughts down below in the comment section. We can discuss them as we jump right into it and continue on with the show with the movie news. Now, in terms of Batman v Superman, we've got a couple of news bits. One dealing with the runtime, which supposedly is going to be 151 minutes. I'm all on board, especially if they're going to release it in 70mm, which obviously Quentin Tarantino's been pushing it. I saw The Hateful Eight, and I think that it all being shot in a room wasn't the best way to use 70mm, but 151 minutes of Batman and Superman all over the place, I'm all for that. In terms of casting news, we have Jeremy Renner, who is in talks to play Rocky Marciano, who was a boxer that I know was played by, I believe, Jon Favreau in the 90s. He's also what inspired the Rocky franchise, but he is a boxer who had a very intriguing life all the way up to his untimely death. And I think Jeremy Renner taking on a role like this of an iconic boxer is phenomenal, and I'm all on board for that. Catherine Waterston, who many of you may know from Steve Jobs or Inherent Vice, has been cast as the lead for Alien Covenant, a movie that I'm still not sure if it's Prometheus 2 or if it's just another Alien installment because they keep changing the name, but nonetheless, she will be playing the character of Daniel. She has been cast as the lead, so at least there is that. Another bit of news, especially for those of you who are big movie buffs, is the Blacklist of 2015 being published, and for those of you who don't know, pretty much this list compiles all of the best unproduced scripts of 2015, but the interesting part is what came out on top, and that is a script named Bubbles, which tells you the life story of Michael Jackson, but through the viewpoint of his chimpanzee Bubbles. I'm all for it because I've been looking forward to the Paris Hilton biopic through the viewpoint of her Chihuahua, so one of these is bound to get made. Last but not least, however, we have the biggest news of the week, and that is Star Wars and the way that it broke records. Not only has this thing become a juggernaut, it's out of this world, all of those puns that are out there, but this movie has even caused critics who we know many times get the bad rep of saying, hey, unless I get a screener sent to my house, I am not going to watch this movie. And they kind of do that. But some of them are even changing the way that they have their deadlines because of how big this movie has become and are even voting on bending those rules to allow it to be eligible. The movie, of course, came in and just rocked the box office. Let's just look at these numbers, all right? For Thursday, it had the biggest opening for that night with 57 million. Not only was it the fastest and first to hit 100 and 200 million, but for its one-day record on Friday, no movie has ever made more than 100 million on one day. This movie made 120.5 million. For December, before, the record was 84.6 for an opening weekend. Yeah, this movie came in and made $247.96 million. If you don't remember, Avengers broke the record for an opening weekend with 203. Then it got beat by Jurassic World with 208. And we were like, this is crazy. 247 just goes way above and beyond. And obviously the global record is also like 526. Jurassic World even came out and said, you know what, good job. You guys did a phenomenal job. And literally, this movie may become not only one of the biggest movies of 2015, but one of the biggest movies of all time. However, that was the movie news for this week. As always, definitely let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section as we move on to my favorite part, that is answering your questions. Every Monday on Facebook and on Twitter at The A to Z Show, or just on the previous episode of Newsday Tuesday, you ask me your movie-related questions, and I answer it on the following episode. And today, I got a couple of questions from my good friend Ian Bulaklak, and he asked, what are your thoughts on the Revenant score not being eligible for the Best Original Score on the Oscars? If you don't know, Iñárritu has a track record with this. Last year, the same thing happened in where they didn't allow the one for Birdman because they thought it was too jazzy. Same thing happened this year. I think the score helps a lot with the movie, and that's what a score should do. Why it's ineligible, I don't know why, because it's building up the tone. I know a lot of people don't agree with me with the Gone Girl soundtrack, but that did the same thing, or the score. So I don't agree with it, but nonetheless, it seems to be something that they continue to throw at Iñárritu. He also asked, what was your favorite movie that came out on Christmas Day? And I believe he's talking about the movies that are coming up, and I have been blessed with being able to see all of them. For the limited releases between Hateful Eight and The Revenant, I would actually choose The Revenant, but for the other ones, surprisingly, Joy. Joy I actually enjoyed the most out of all of them, and I'll explain why in a little bit. Dylan also asked, what are your thoughts on The Witch by A24? Now, it was released in Sundance. I have not been able to see it. I know it comes out next year, but this is one of those movies that I literally feel like it, like The Exorcist, like it is infested with actual demons in the movie, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be great, but I almost want to stay clear of that completely because I am freaked out by it. He also asked, of the January releases, which is the most promising? The best part about it is that you have The Hateful Eight and The Revenant, who are officially coming out in January, so I would say The Revenant, followed by Anomalisa. But in terms of the real January releases, I actually think like Kung Fu Panda 3 is going to be the one to make the most money. I really have no hope for anything else that's coming out in January, so I'm just going to be rewatching all of the Oscar stuff that is being released nationwide. However, that was the quick round of questions for today, but as always, definitely on Facebook and on Twitter at the A to Z Show or on the previous episode, let me know your movie questions and I'll answer it on the following episode. Quick news right now is I will be coming up with an update video for 2016. I have already started up another channel where the A to Z Show has things like Cineclash with the Winter Clash tournament that is coming up, Newsday Tuesday, but I will be starting up Roll Film. So instead of individual reviews, they are all going to be compiled into one video that is going to give you my quick thoughts and rating on the movies. However, my other channel, A to Z Flicks, which will be connected, and you can go right here, is a channel that is going to have every individual review. We're talking like probably a review a day for every movie out there. So go there if you want to see all of that stuff. But for all the more organized, edited things where I want all of your guys' involvement in, stay here on the A to Z Show. Comment, like, subscribe down below. Continue to watch movies. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.